Anybody who is a Christian who has nothing to do with a widow, I query your religion. It's a command. That's what James said. It's a command. That is how we know that your religion is pure and godly. Lord, thank you for giving us this. Very oúnjẹ yóò ní tán. Òróró yóò ní gbẹ. Bó ṣe ń wọlé yín, omi á máa tẹ̀lé wa. This 5 kg of rice will not finish.
I want to welcome you to the city of Ilesha, and on our program I want to know, we'll be discussing about widows. Like, who are the widows, and why is it that God is so much interested in taking care of the widows, and why is it that some majority of the widows in our society are suffering. Today we want to discuss with our father Apostle Peter Akpata, who God has been using, and God is still using him for widows in Ijesha land. He has about 1,500 widows that are in his care, and that he is taking care of them, that he is even not even taking care of them physically alone, he is even taking care of them spiritually. So we are going to discuss with him what prompted him to the ministry and how God has been doing the ministry with him. You are welcome, sir. Over that you are so much interested in the issue of welfare of widow. What brought you to that?
Yes. Sometimes back, 1 or 2 widows has bumped into this office, crying that they do not have school fees for their children. On another occasion, one of them has come and cried to me on crusade ground, please can you pray for my family? They have pushed me out. They have neglected me. As I speak to you right now, a year ago, 2 years ago, one of those widows in our team is a pastor. The husband is a pastor. And they own a very big church somewhere in Ondo State. And the husband died. The next thing is that she's pushed out with her 3 children.
From the church or
Yes.
from the family?
From the church and the family. So, like that. So somehow, I brought a friend from Italy who came to do a crusade here in Ilesha. And he was asking me, what can we do? What can we do? And I said, please, can we attend to widows? And he looked at me and was shocked. I said, yes, let's attend to widows. And then we had enough widows. That time he bought 100 bags of rice and we shared. Oh my God. The crusade that year, we had a larger number. Then I began to study about widows. And I discovered that now, Jesus gave parables about widows. In the Bible, widows taught us faith. Widows taught us giving. Widows taught us prayers. And then, when the early church began, widows were given attention. And James says in James chapter 1 verse 27, it says, pure religion is to visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction. So when we started, we now decided to start a forum for widows. A friend of mine, one of my sons in the Lord, who also caught the burden, came around, and then we started. He had some donor agencies. We started, but somehow one woman spoiled it, and I withdrew myself because that is not what is on my heart. It's not looking for money. And then I left it. One of the days I was praying, and the Holy Ghost reminded me again. And so we launched into it. We started gradually with like 10 widows. Before we know it, we started increasing. Before we know it, we started increasing. And what was my motivation? I discovered that these widows, how many of them are they called? Are they called wishes? Wishes. Some of them, their children has neglected them. Can you imagine the woman that did not kill you when you were small? The woman that trained you till you got out of higher institution. And then you start doing a very juicy job. Now, a prophet will now come from somewhere and say your mother is the witch. I'm having a case right now. This woman has 5 children. Was well-to-do before. Trained all her children. In fact, the house she's living right now, it is part of her resources she used to build it. And the children, one of them went to a prophet and said they are experiencing downtown now because their mother is a witch. So the woman came to me like on a Tuesday and told me, please pray for my children. I have nothing to eat again. Pray for them. They said I'm a witch. 5 of them. I said, Mama, none of them believe. He said, none of them. And this was on Tuesday. On Saturday, she had nothing to eat at home. In fact, when she came to me on Tuesday, I didn't have much. The little I have was what I gave to her. On Saturday, she was going around to look for money. She called one Alhaji, and the Alhaji asked her to come. On her way, Okada hit her. Broke her 2 legs. I'm not telling you home video, I'm telling you a life story. Where I am here in this office, the only thing from my mouth is look for Apostle Apata, oh, look for Apostle Apata, oh. And then I saw Okada man running down here. They say, who is Apostle Apata? They say one woman was hit by Okada, and they said they should look for him, and they tell him Grace Widow. That's how I sprang into action. We rushed there, broken legs. We called the children. I called 3 of them in my phone number. One of them said, he's coming. We rushed her to our teaching hospital here. The hospital was on strike. Rushed her to Panagon, where they took care of bones. We were ready to pay what we can pay. They said they needed someone to stay with her. We begged the children, the grandchildren, none of them will come. They labeled Mama as a witch. We had to resort to local medical. As I'm talking to you now, money has gone out from our fellowship to her. Our children are not forthcoming.
Like you said the other time that widows taught us faith. You said they taught us, what was the other 2 things?
They taught us giving. They taught us trusting in God.
Okay, can you please give us examples of widows that taught us faith, giving, and in the Bible?
Number 1, widows taught us prayers. So, do you know that it was a widow that prayed for Jesus coming on earth? Her name is Anna. She was married only for 8 years. She lived the rest of her life in fasting and prayers until she was 80 and above. A widow. So, Jesus was given a parable that said men ought always to pray and not to faint, in the book of Luke chapter 18 from verse 1 down. That this widow will go to the judge, avenge me. Jesus now said, look, can you imagine the persistence of this widow made the unjust judge to answer her? And Jesus said, can you imagine? He used the illustration of that widow. Now, the widow of Zarephath, when the son died, where did she run to? Elijah, you have come. Oh yeah, she ran again, and the Bible says the women received their dead back to life. Who was it referring to? The widow. The widow of Nain. You see, so widows taught us prayers. And Jesus emphasized it. Number 2, now widows taught us giving. I was thinking that if you look at the life of Jesus, those who supported Jesus were not necessarily the big men. Pure poor women, just women. They taught us giving. How can you imagine the last thing you are going to eat? Go and give it to me. Which man will do that? Which married woman in her husband's house will do that? It's rare. And when she decided to give, and guess what happened? All of a sudden, that thing never died. You see, I just came to discover that if you help a widow, you are helping yourself.
To help a widow?
If you help a widow, you are helping yourself.
Can you explain more on that?
Now, Elijah came with all the anointing, poured it upon that widow. The widow helped Elijah to be alive too. Without the widow, Elijah's ministry had died. And guess what happened? Elijah was living comfortably for the rest of that time. Sir, any country, take note of this, any country, any organization, any family that chooses to help a widow, I'm telling you that the barometer of their rising will increase. Late Archbishop Benz also has some widows who were praying, whose work is prayers. Go to redemption camp now. There are some women there, some of them are widows who are there praying for Baba. And Baba doesn't joke with widows. I know Dr. Paul Eneche told that he doesn't joke with widows. Bishop Oyedepo doesn't joke with widows. Now, see what is happening around there. If you help a widow, I'm telling you, not with the mind that I'm helping the widow to help me. No, as unto God, that source doesn't dry. That source doesn't dry. So widows taught us giving. Can you imagine, sir? I think it's in the book of Luke chapter 21, verse 1 to 4 thereabout. So Jesus was talking about giving. He was standing by the offering, and this widow came and gave just 2 farthings. Is it 2 or 3 farthings? All that she had, she carried it. Bam! Other rich men were dropping, but Jesus clapped hands for the widow. I was thinking that Jesus would say, hey, bring that money of that widow and give it back to her. Nobody mentioned any other person who gave except that widow. You know, so widows taught us giving. Widows taught us prayers. Widows taught us giving. Widows taught us how to. Okay, let me explain this. It is widows that also taught us faith.
How did they taught us?
No. Go and bring the last thing you have. In faith, she went. Now, that other widow that they were coming to carry her children in the days of Elisha, she obeyed. She had debt on her head. She only had a little thing. And when she gave that little thing, sir, number one, we saw supernatural abundance through a widow. Supernatural abundance. She trusted in her supply, and her supply failed. So widows taught us that when you trust on your own strength, your own ability, it will fail. That widow was a hardworking woman. Oh. She trusted in her strength, in her supply. But when she surrendered it and sold it, there was supernatural miracles of cancelled debt happened with a widow. And I also said widows taught us followership. Sir, when a widow decides to follow God, let's be very factual here. There are many of them that do this. There are many of them who take people for granted. I'm going to tell you the story of how some of the widows we met, where we met them, and how they are. You know. But widows, when they want to follow God, they follow God with the whole of their life. And let me give you an example. We met some of these widows who were like beggars. Some of them, we even had to, I went for one of these meetings in Abuja and had to raise clothes and come and give them clothes. We saw some of them wearing those clothes. But in the limbo, after some time, some of them dressed, decked very well. We taught our widows not to be beggars. That's one of the things we teach them. We teach them how to have faith in God. And sir, do you know that the spiritual atmosphere of Elisha under God, I say this under God, that the glory of God has improved because of our widows fellowship. Every Tuesday, we won't have less than 40, 50, 60 widows praying here. Any day they don't come, we have 45. Like we are resuming next week Tuesday right now. They are not praying for themselves. Oh God, the prophetic destiny of Ijeshaland. And we see the spiritual atmosphere growing. growing. And I have seen ministers and ministers who have stretched hand to our widows. God bless them. I'm not saying this for anything. I'm saying it plain as it is. Some of these widows now have become Sunday school teachers in their churches. There were many of them even came and wanted to start. Go back. Let me know that the light has come into you. Now, apart from the praying, once every month we do widows outreach. This place is jammed. Before we give whatsoever God gives to us, we break them into classes. All of them have classes. Bible study. We do 1 hour Bible study. And come back again, do summary. Teach them, take questions and answers, and then bless them. Among them, we raise teachers. As I'm talking to you now, we have about 15 teachers. And in individual cell groups. And then after that, we bring them together, give them what we have, and then we tell them whatever. The day we don't have much, we give the little we have. And we say, this is our key. Sir, there are days we give just 1 Congo of rice. And some of them will come back the following month and say, sir, the Congo of rice you gave us have not stopped.
Others will be giving them.
Sir, he's not even, one of the widows says, sir, he doesn't know. He said, Apostle Abata, kill us his own journey. Not 1, not 2. The food will not finish. They keep picking two cups to cook. And the thing will not finish for a month.
Okay, sir. Who are those people that can be classified as widows?
The Bible talks about true widows. There are true widows, there are true widows. Well, let me start this way. There are some women who has entered into our midst as widows which are not widows. So that is why you see the outreach will scream. We scream. We have our own form. Apart from that, those other ones who come will scream. And even among the widows, there are widows who are not widows indeed. The widow indeed is the one who loves God, who has surrendered to God, whose livelihood is unto God. No. How do I mean by that? Actually, there are some widows that came here, they are still jumping from men to men. There are some of them that are of marriageable age. We sit them down and advise them to go and marry. Oh, there is one that so touched me. A very young widow. This widow just came in here, and another pastor was messing up with her in town. Another widow came in here, a Pentecostal pastor. The pastor was sleeping with her and sleeping with her daughter. I tried to remove her from that pastor. She refused. She wouldn't let me have access to the pastor.
Is it she or he?
She. I don't classify those ones as widows indeed. Eventually she left.
So you are saying it is not every woman that her husband died that is a widow?
In English language, it's every woman that her husband dies is a widow. But in the Bible, it's not every woman that her husband dies is a widow. Somebody's husband died and he's jumping from men to men. Somebody's husband died and he's just doing some other things. No. In my own view, a widow indeed is the one who is ready to follow the precepts of God and fulfill the destiny. Those are the people that I am primarily after. Actually, I go after everyone, pick them in, bring them, help those who can help.
Orúkọ mi ni Ìgbàlàjọbí Rachel. Látìgbà tí mo ti darapọ̀ mọ́ Òpó Oore-ọ̀fẹ́, mo rí ọwọ́ Ọlọ́run. Àwọn wàhálà kan, àwọn ogun kan níbì kan tí mo gbé wá síbí, mo rí pé Ọlọ́run bá mi yanjú rẹ̀. Nǹkan tí mo wá fẹ́ k'Ọlọ́run kó ṣe fún mi báyìí ni pé mo fẹ́ ìrànlọ́wọ́ nípa àtiṣe, nípa ìgbédìde iṣẹ́ tí mò ń ṣe. Àti lórí àwọn ọmọ tí ó ti kù sí ọ̀dọ̀ mi. Iṣẹ́ ẹ̀fọ́ ni mo ṣe. Òpó Oore-ọ̀fẹ́ ti ràn mí lọ́wọ́ rí. Kódà orí ìrànwọ́ wọn náà ni mo ṣì wà yìí tó yẹ pé ó ti fún mi lórí ọ̀fẹ́. Iye tí mo ní ìdí báyìí láti gbé kíṣẹ́ yẹn kó gbèrú títorí èmi náà fẹ́ máa rà á sí oko kí ráyè máa tún kí má máa sá kiri mọ́ tí máa rí bíi 60,000.
Orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Mọ́báyọ̀jẹ́ Ọmọláyọ̀.
Ọdún mélòó ni yín báyìí?
49.
49. Oh, how many years were you nígbà tọkọ yín kú?
Mo wà ní 46.
Okay. So kí lẹ fẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún yín?
Mo fẹ́ ìrànlọ́wọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọkọ opó ṣe máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́.
Ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún kí ni gangan?
Mo nídìí ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún owó kó bá rí owó láti máa ṣiṣẹ́.
Bí èlò iṣẹ́ wo?
Tó bá rí 200.
Okay, irú iṣẹ́ wo lẹ lè ṣe?
Kò síṣẹ́ tí mi lè ṣe, mo lè máa tajà.
Okay, láti ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń wá bíbá ẹ̀ kí lọ́lọ́run ṣe fún yín ní?
Ọlọ́run ṣe ìyanu dì sí náà, Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ tì mí ṣe ọkọ opó nígbà ọdún yẹn mo ti rò gbòòdà àwọn ọmọ mi ó ṣe jẹun. Ọkọ opó dẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n gbé nǹkan fún wa tó jọ mí lójú, wọ́n tún fi òróró tá a fi máa ṣebẹ̀ sí, ó jọ mí lójú, ó yà mí lẹ́nu.
So iṣẹ́ wo lẹ fẹ́ ṣe gangan tó máa ná yín tó 200,000?
Mo lè máa ta.
Orúkọ mi ni Sọlá rẹ̀.
Yes. Láti ìgbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń wá sípàdé kí lọ́lọ́run ṣe fún yín?
Ọlọ́run jọ mi nítorí pé Ọlọ́run ṣe ìyanu nínú ayé mi. Ọlọ́run ṣe ìyanu nínú ayé mi gan. Nípa àìsàn Ọlọ́run bá mi ṣẹ́gun àìsàn. Torí gbogbo nǹkan tí mo lè pé Ọlọ́run fún lórí àwọn ọmọ mi. Ọlọ́run gbàdúrà. Orí pé Ọlọ́run gbàdúrà gan gidi níbí.
Okay, kí ni ìgbà ọlọ́kọ yín kú gan?
19 years ago.
19 years ago. Ọdún mélòó ni yín gbà yẹn?
Ọ̀kẹ́ ní lọ́sàkù ìyá 2009.
Okay, kí lẹ ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí? Kí lẹ ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí?
Mi ò rówó tajà náà mò ń kàn ń ta nǹkan wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ bíi mo ń ta èédú mo ṣàtì máa lè jù ẹ̀gàn mo ń gbà láyìn.
Ẹ ń gbà láwìn. Like èlò lẹ need báyìí?
Mo máa ń ta sún ìwà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n mi ò rówó lóko.
So èlò lẹ need fún iṣu títà?
Iṣu ẹ̀bẹ̀ ni bá fẹ́ roko sọ á níbi 300,000 bá fẹ́ lọ fún àná.
Láti gbà ọ lẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ Opó Oore-Ọ̀fẹ́ ní Iléṣà?
Ó ti fẹ́ẹ̀ tọ́dún méjì jù bẹ́ẹ̀.
Good. Iṣẹ́ wo lẹ ń ṣe?
Mo máa ń ta provision, mo dẹ̀ máa ń tagi, wọ́n máa ń jáde fún mi mo ń ta provision.
Báyìí ńkọ́?
Àmọ́ nígbà tí ìdààmú dé gbogbo ẹ̀ ti parun.
Èrò ìdààmú wo?
Mo ní operation.
Níbo?
Mo ní accident operation.
Okay, níbo lẹ ti ṣe operation?
Ìfẹ́.
Pẹ̀lú ọwọ́ àbí pẹ̀lú ẹsẹ̀?
Ẹsẹ̀ ni.
Okay, báwo wá ní báyìí?
Gbogbo owó tí mo ṣe nígbà yẹn ó ti tán. Kò jẹ́ wípé mo ń ní ẹjọ́ ẹ fún mi ni mo ń gbà kiri.
Like èlò lẹ need báyìí kẹ́ fi bẹ̀rẹ̀?
Oye tí wọ́n bá fún mi náà ni.
Orúkọ mi ni Adébílọ́lá Adéṣáínà.
Okay, kí ni testimony yín láti gbà tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ Opó Oore-Ọ̀fẹ́?
Láti ìgbà tí mo ti darapọ̀ mọ́ Opó Oore-Ọ̀fẹ́, mo ríṣẹ́ ìyanu Ọlọ́run nínú ayé mi. Àdúrà mi ń gbà ó. Gbogbo nǹkan tí mo dọ́wọ́ lé láti ìgbà tí mo ti ń gorí òkè bí lọ́lọ́run fàṣẹ sí i. Mo dẹ̀ rí dídára Ọlọ́run nínú ayé mi.
Iṣẹ́ wo lẹ ń ṣe?
Àmì èrí tá a rí. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ti sọ, ṣùgbọ́n mo ń ṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ kan.
Orúkọ mi ni Mrs. Olúwàgbèmí Rosemary.
Okay. How old are you now?
I'm 52 years old.
52.
Yes.
Báwo lọkọ yín kú?
2010.
Oh, that's how many years now?
Maybe 32.
So iṣẹ́ wo lẹ́yìn àti ọkọ yín ṣe before tí ọkọ yín kú?
Ọkọ mi ṣe mechanic.
Okay.
Èmi náà ṣe teacher, mo dẹ̀ tún ṣe tailor nígbà náà.
So iṣẹ́ wo lẹ lè ṣe báyìí?
Iṣẹ́ tí mo lè ṣe báyìí o, mo lè ta tailoring materials bá ní ìrànwọ́.
So like bí èlò lẹ need báyìí?
Tí bá rí bí 70 or 80.
Okay. Àwọn ọmọ mélòó ló lẹ bí?
Ọmọ mẹ́rin.
Do you have any grandchildren?
No.
Okay. The last born is how much? How many years?
Last born is 15 years.
15 years. Ta ló ń tọ́ wọn school?
Ọlọ́run.
So that they can be full on the table. The only challenge I have with some of those things, because we call an ESCO meeting and say, okay, all those we have supported, call them, let's interview them. This is how we did it. All the money we are giving to them, we will not tell them, we say, hey, this money we are giving to you is on loan. And it is expected.
So you give them money?
Yeah, it's expected that after 2 months, start dropping 5,000. Those that collect 100,000 after 2 months, start dropping 5,000. so that we can recycle the money to other people. We'll be dropping the 5,000 until you finish paying your 100,000 every month. In this place, sir, back to your question, we don't even teach them, come and take. That's not our primary thing. Come and take is a date. We teach them how to pray. We teach them how to follow God. We teach them how to actualize their prophetic destiny. We teach them that God is their husband. So they live by faith.
Back to your ministry. Like, how do you get finance to do all these projects?
Well, anywhere there's a vision, there is a provision. But I can tell you that it has been tasking and demanding. God never fails. Most of the time, He does not come early, but He never comes late. Sometimes the provisions are not there. But I have this feeling, if I want to do something that the money does not come. There was time I had to weep over a widow because I couldn't help her. The money had not come, and I didn't have it either. The widow is just an aspect of it. That is just an aspect of our ministry.
But our focus today is
The widow. So I'm just trying to tell you that we live by faith. As I'm talking to you now, we're going to be doing a crusade in February, and we'll be costing us 15 million. As I'm talking to you now, the committees are working, but no dime has come in. The same way too with the widows. Actually, some of them, to be factual, get disappointed because their needs were not met the way they thought should be met, and they're not. But those who knows that, apart from money, there's something I'm receiving here. Sir, one of the widows traveled. We didn't see her again for like 6 months. And she came back with palliative for widows.
She brought palliative for
her
widows
co-widows.
because of the type of teaching that she has received.
So even sometimes when we are giving them some things, say, Daddy, my own, give it to another person.
Because she has discovered she can help herself.
This is the person who was like a nobody
Before.
When we started the building project, one day she came and brought 30,000. I looked at her. She brought 30,000. She has sent 10,000 to me. That was somebody who was like, eh? That's why I say widows teach us faith.
Concerning the ministry now, which area do you think people can come in to support this Lodebo project? In what area do you think we need help?
Yes, we need help. Anyone who says he doesn't need help is arrogant, it's ungodly. Even God had to make a help need for a man. That was how woman come. Even Jesus needed helpers. John the Baptist had to come. He needed 12. Sir, we need help. Number one, let's start from the widows. Our end focus for today. We are trusting God for people who will adopt one or any of our widows. You can adopt them. You can help adopt their children. You can help train. There are some of them that are open to further training. And you can also help our outreach. Our vision is when we are well established, sir, we will come to Osogbo and do widows crusade. We have many unbelievers widows we have some Muslims who have seen the light. We want to come with palliatives, bring them in, minister the word to them. We have taught some of them how to make soap and they are making soap. So we need help in that direction. No dime that is sent to a widow will be lost. And I tell you sincerely, I am blessed. I don't feed by widows. We rather give. Any dime that comes for widows goes to widows. That is one side. Two, we are into our crusade that this year alone we're going to have 6 major crusades, and we're trusting God that we're going to have crowd as never before. The one for next month will cost us 15 million. We're comping 6 local governments together. So I will be in Osogbo this year, towards later. We have 6 major. And then number 3, so like you saw when you came now, you saw that the space is small for us.
Small.
Very small for us. And you see this property we're talking about now, they are giving us quick notice. And but thank God we have a land. We have laid foundation. We're trying to build a 1,000-seater hall. We have laid foundation, and we are needing 55 million. But we have broken the work into pieces. The first phase will cost us 10 million. Then the second phase will cost us 10 million. The first phase is raising the walls and then doing the decking where we need to deck. The second phase is putting the roof. Then the third phase, which is like the finishing point. We are trusting God, and because our work is limited. For instance, now we move our conferences from church to church because we don't have facility. So any day we announce that widows meeting, the one you saw, this one you came, we didn't announce it. Anytime we announce, okay, in our widows conference we have up to 600 people. So is there facility that can take 600 people? So that is the area we are trusting God for help. And somebody cannot become somebody without somebody. So we appeal that if God is touching your heart, why not?
Do you have any other words for people before I ask my final question?
Yes. We live in the end times. Iniquity shall abound, and the love of many is waxing cold. It takes men who are on fire to set their world on fire. The best thing for any man to do now is in serving God. No matter who you are, if you don't have Christ, you are zero. A governor without Christ is zero, is going to hell. A president without Christ is zero, is going to hell. My word may be brutal, but it's because of your soul. You can turn your life over to Jesus today and have the best of life. A life without Christ has no hope for the future. The hope ends here. Dear listeners, with Christ, you see, he said, his name shall be called Emmanuel, for he shall save. Jesus can save from sin. He can save from sickness. He can save from poverty. He can save from that situation you are going through. Turn it over to him today, and you will not regret it.
And your final word for the widows, especially the widows, I want you to enjoy widows, just admonishing them and tell them that hope is not lost.
Yes.
There are some of them watching us that they feel that, okay, probably, when I interviewed some of your widows here, one said, the husband and family, they have taken everything away from her, but when she got here, she now discovered that she still has so many things beside that. Please kindly talk to the widows that are.
Widows, the Bible cannot be complete without you. Look unto Jesus. I'm sure you have been following this interview. You heard raw testimonies of widows who were nothing, who thought their need was money. But when they discovered that their need was not money, but the God of the money, which is God, they got the money. Don't give up. Whatsoever you are facing, don't give up. God is your God.
You can contact Apostle Peter Akpata.
070-391-26383. You can find me on WhatsApp. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. My WhatsApp name is Apostle Peters or Ako Akpata. That's my WhatsApp name. My Facebook name. Our Facebook page is Apostle Peters Akpata. And the ministry Facebook is Steward of God's Grace Missions. If you are led to sow, you can give us a call, or our ministry's contact address is Zenith Bank PLC, 101 37 28 196. 101 37 28 196. The name is Stewards of God's Grace Missions. That's the ministry account. Stewards of God's Grace Missions. And please, if you are sending anything as led, please tell us what it's for. For the ministry, for crusades, for building, or for the widows. Tell us which dimension, and it will go to the dimension accordingly. And I'm telling you, just like the widow of Zarephath was blessed. That, sir, do you know that from ministry I discovered that those who give are not those who have enough. Those who give their widow's mite are those who gives more. And that is why Jesus came to teach the poor, to make the poor rich. Whatsoever you are giving today will stand for you as a memorial. Give out of the much you have, give out of the little you have, give, and I'm telling you, register your company in giving, register your family in giving. Like I was trying to say in this interview, any nation that gives boosts the barometer of their increase and blessing. And you'll be one of them in Jesus' name.
Thank you, sir.
So grateful.
Yes, sir.